The big bucks come out of the back ridge, and they're running everywhere, of all sizes. And all the other little animals are just trying to stay out of the way. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the foothills of the Smokies. Another chapter of As the Ridge Turns here in East Tennessee. Now, we've had some mild weather, but we've had some cold nights. But for the most part, the weather's been pretty warm during the day. Kind of strange for this time of year. And all the leaves, they're gone. Just what the oaks is hanging on to them. Hope y'all doing well out there and enjoyed your Thanksgiving. The little animals are moving around, but the deer are just pushing them around. Down here at the pond, they seem to love this place, and I've even noticed some water in it this week, but it won't hold it long. Just full of leaves. But they had a good time. So relax, take it easy, and let's see what stepped in front of the cameras this week. Now the little does, they're just browsing the ridge. And the bigger does, they're trying to stay ahead of these bucks until it's their time. It's that time of year for the bucks, and they seem to be running everywhere. And these other little bitty animals, they're still trying to get ready for winter. But the big old bucks keep them run off, seems like. And these deer, oh, they still browsing on these acorns, just up and down the ridge. And you just liable to see them anywhere. Morning, night, noon, don't matter. And they'll just relax. Here's Mommy with a yearling, this year's fawn. They're still hanging with Mom, but they'll get run off soon enough. And the herd, if nothing's pressuring them, they just lay around on these little mild days, scattered all around the ridge, just watching for each other. But these old bucks, they're on the move looking for them. Just following them around. But they're nervous on these windy days. And I'll just show you here, clip after clip of what stepped in front of the cameras on these old big bucks. Some of them are some nice ones. All different size racks. Now this is the first one coming up rut. There's usually one right after the 1st of January, the last one. That's the reason you see these late fawns in the summer. Ain't they pretty? They just follow these does around. And they are some nice ones. Which one's the dominant buck this year? Some of them, the doe's trying to get the buck's attention. They don't seem to care. He's too busy eating. And ain't that a nice one? He don't normally stay on the ridge. He's come back into the ridge from the back country. And they are some nice ones here. That's just what stepped in front of the camera. Of all different types, too. But it's that time of year. Here's two younger ones. They don't seem to be fighting. But down at the acorn pile, the little animals are still trying to get ready for winter. Gathering them acorns. And the deer run them off. They like these acorns too. But the little squirrels, they got to keep a lookout. They don't want to get stepped on, I guess. They always working in these acorns. And it's so relaxing to me just to watch them scrounge around on the ground, finding something to eat on, carry off. And they're calm. Ain't they precious? And they work in teams all the time. Down at the stump, all I got was a couple of squirrel clips this week on a rainy day here. And the little ground squirrels right on the ground below. And down at the cut, they're always down here. And that looks like a young deer, doe, just easing up the shortcut here. And there's a woodpecker in that rock, cracking that rock. I don't know what he's eating on or storing or getting a drink. I don't know what he's doing. And at the log, the deer browsing in the background here. And they just relax on these mild days. But the old bucks, they're looking for them, following them around. There's little Chucky. Still plenty of acorns to get. And they're working at it. And old Ricky, he's working for them too. And he's so calm. And at the tree, there's a couple of young deer. But the old bucks is following him around too. It's just that time of year. And up the rock, there's a doe browsing through visiting. But old Dirty Dan, he's took his nap. We won't see him till about February. Have a good nap, old Dan. And there's little Chucky. He lives in there too. And of course, old Ricky got him a nut coming through. Now here's old Yeller prowling around. He's looking for Chucky in the gang, if he can catch him. And in the back door, little Wren doing his thing. And down at the pond, only place I filmed a turkey was down here at the pond this week. They're always down here one time or another. And on the other camera, you can see them browsing through. These are the Toms, the bachelor group. And the old buck down here smelling around where the does has been. Now come dark, here's the masters of the ridge, the old coon. Just follow the leader. What's going on tonight? Everything's new to them every night. Don't matter how many times they've been through there. Something's changed, and they're going to see what it is. But there's the old coyotes they got to watch out for. They're following all these little animals around constantly. And the old possums up on the ridge, but they've slowed down a lot. Still finding a few bugs here and there. And the deer, still browsing in these acorns. They just lay down. If nothing don't run them off. But you better watch out for these old coyotes. They're watching them too. And so's the old big bucks. They just waiting on them. And they don't want to miss nothing. It's just their time of year, and they want to be there. Now that one's got a funny rack on it, ain't it? A little 3-point. Big spike with a fork on one other side. Right in front of the camera. And all I got really at night at the log was a coon coming through. And there's a little skunk at the log. Nothing at the tree. But up here at the rock, looks like the coon family. The little rascals are moving through. And there's a possum carrying leaves at the rock. That's a bad sign. Gonna turn cold. It's supposed to turn cold this week. Remember, these videos are always a week behind. Here you've seen a possum get leaves before. Well, there you go. And that looks like flat top here at the rock. He's just out doing his thing. It's about their time of year, too. There at the back door, there's a different skunk. On a wet night. You're liable to see anything up here at the rock. And the coon's prowling around on a rainy night. And up on the ridge, doe just browsing through. Being careful, though. And the bucks, they just moving through, too. Following these does. Following their nose. But there's the old coyotes. They just following everything around. Waiting for their change. Down at the pond, deer just browsing around. At the other camera, you can see the deer. They seem to like this place. Water, no water, and the old bucks is just following them around. Now here's a big spike right here. And they come right up to the camera too. Some of them are just curious. What is that? But the old coons, they're here every night, one way or another. They don't care if the deer's here. They don't bother each other. That looks like no-tail there. But they love this old pond. And they just come and go. Night after night. Come dawn, bucks is out making their rounds. They never give up. Eating acorns as they're browsing. Waiting on them dogs. And another day unfolds here on the ridge. Just trying to survive, get ready for winter. But it's time for the little squirrels. On a foggy morning, they got work to do. Dawn to dusk, they're working these woods. Never seem to run out of energy. They love to find these nuts. Well, guys, that's just what stepped in front of the cameras this week. Take care out there, stay warm, God bless, and I'll see you next time.